This week, we read Violets Are Blue, an addictive psychological thriller by Miranda Rijks. Her perfect home, her perfect man. How wrong can she be? After a bitter divorce, criminal solicitor Layla moves to idyllic Violet Lane, where she quickly falls for Max, her charming piano playing neighbor. They begin a wildly passionate affair, and Layla feels she is really starting to live again. But the tranquility of this close knit community is shattered when Jackie, a young mother from across the street, goes missing. Her husband is the chief suspect, and Layla agrees to act as his lawyer. As she investigates Jackie's disappearance, Layla discovers that this quiet street hides deadly secrets and someone is watching her every move. Anonymous threats pull her ever deeper into a twisted web of deception. Meanwhile, her intense relationship with Max is starting to feel like a runaway train, and Layla begins to wonder if her gorgeous new man may have a hidden dark side. She desperately needs to uncover the truth, and when she does, Layla realizes that she's put herself in terrible danger, that she may lose everything, including her life. The trigger content warning for this is explicit sex, domestic violence, rape, and murder.
Hello.
How are you? That was a silly question. I'm
How are you?
all right. I'm here, existing.
I mean, existing is important.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do
Yup.
occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally.
Occasionally.
What you eating?
Empanadas.
Mm,
I'm going through my freezer stash to make sure that what I'm putting in my new freezer is fresh. So I'm only
gotcha.
putting new stuff in that one and only eating out of the old one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Hmm. Think I'm going to make homemade pizza this weekend.
Ooh.
I've been feeling pizza. There's not like the best pizza around here, so I have to make it. But I make pretty
Gotcha.
good pizza, so I'm okay with that. Slightly. Like it's a pain in the ass to do, but
Got you. I mean, yeah. Ugh.
you know, takes a while and all that.
Yeah.
But I put so much garlic in it, so it's like super garlic crust.
Oh. I mean,
That's yummy.
is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Good for me.
Okay. I was like, is it good or bad?
Good for me.
It's good at least. So we took a detour this week, I feel.
What do you mean?
This is more thrillery than we would ever normally read on a daily. This is better than the last thriller.
But
Switch.
this was the whole point. This is what you wanted to do
I
with your
know. I
yeah.
know. I know. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying, I for the audience, we took a
Gotcha.
definite detour from what we normally read,
I was
which
gonna say
was
it's
the
still thriller month.
yeah. Well, so like it's not like a yes, it's a thriller month, but I'm saying like we don't normally do. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up now. I'm not even gonna bother.
Sorry, I got distracted by my own head.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Yeah. He was fucking meowing the fuck out of everything to get in here. So here he's just, can you, what are you doing?
He's trying to eat one of your plants.
They're not real plants.
Oh,
So that's,
Kiki.
bro, really?
Oh, no. Sorry. Never mind.
Not you, the cat. Well, welcome to our continuation of Thriller Month and the end of it, but that's fine.
At this point, we're never going to say that
I
it's
don't
going to stop
know.
being a hot mess.
Hot
It's
Mess
just this, we are
Express.
who we are. So I'm not going to give anything away, but were you right the whole time? Because I was right the whole time
I had an
about
ink.
it all.
Oh, well, no, I didn't have everything.
I didn't think it was going to take that long to get there, but
This is why you can't read these books.
I know. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. No, I had like,
Actually, I was wrong about one thing, but I'll get there when we get, if you want.
okay. Yeah,
It's at the very end.
gotcha.
And
The
it's
end
a
was
minor
crazy.
thing.
I was like, oh, okay.
No, yeah, I called that one too, but the end, how it ended, I thought we were going to get like an extra little epilogue piece with those two
Yeah,
moving.
I thought
Yeah.
so too.
That was the only thing I was wrong about.
Gotcha. Yeah, so buckle up, guys. Let us know if you also expected everything because Ariel just hates fun.
No, pattern recognition.
I know, but like sometimes,
I
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
do it. It's just there in my face.
Yeah, this book opens with a prologue. Who is this prologue about? No idea. But
Mm,
I think it is about Jackie, though.
hmm.
But I'm just
Now that we know,
saying,
right?
now
At
that
the time, not a
at
clue.
the time we did not know. So pretend Ariel said nothing and we didn't ruin it already.
Which is weird because
It's interesting.
they were both in the first person. To me, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Without proper, or it could have just said victim at the top and it would have given out something.
Well, the whole point is
Oh, so you
to
don't
like,
know. Right.
yes, that's the
And I
whole
get that,
point.
but
Ariel's
then
gonna
make
be
that in the third person, maybe?
no, I mean, I've read books where it does that, where the person gets in the first like prologue area, and then it just is the rest of the story is like trying to solve it. Like I've read stuff like
Yeah.
that and being in first person. So anyway, so the book opens with a prologue. Who is this prologue about? No idea. But to be honest, we do know. But they are realizing that they need to talk something else. So they're going to their favorite spot in nature, which is this bench for a person they don't know. And they start talking, and then they look over and they see metal. And who carries a knife in their pocket? No idea. But this person ends up getting stabbed to death. And that's how the book opens with somebody dying. And then we have chapter one. And it's clear that chapter one is obviously not the person who died in the prologue
Well,
because you never
yes or
know.
no, because
That is
I
true.
wasn't sure at first if it
Mm,
was a
that's true.
like a warning ahead of time, like this is what's a preview
Yeah,
to
because
what's
we've
come,
definitely said we've seen some of
especially
those.
where they were both in the first person. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. But they're walking into their new house, trying to start a brand new life in a whole brand new town. There's plenty of welcome to your new home cards from neighbors that this person hasn't met yet, but there's also nothing from Jacob. Ooh, we hear a name.
This neighborhood
Is
were
fucking
was
like
like intense,
it reminds me of like Stepford Wives or
but
like
like on
oh
steroids.
what was that movie with Florence Pugh in it? Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah. I didn't watch it though, but I remembered
I
it was
actually
a
really
thing.
like I liked that movie a lot to be so honest. It kind of gave me Don't Worry Darling vibes a tiny bit, but not. This was aggressive. I would move out of this neighborhood immediately.
Yeah, this gave okay, red flags, I'm done vibes.
Okay,
Like
the
she was barely moved in and they were sticking notes through her
I
mail
understand like
slot.
I
Like,
understand
but it was a
welcoming,
lot.
but yeah, don't worry, I make a little bit of comments. So
It was a
anyways,
little much for me, and I
yeah.
was like, no thanks. I'm
Yeah,
good.
so this person's best friend's name is Jasmine, and Jasmine was eager to help them with the move. This is the first time they're going to be living on their own for a decade. There's a reason that I keep saying there and they and haven't said a name, just for the record. Basically, this woman is divorced, and the divorce was really rough. It took 3 years to finalize this divorce and for her to even get any money. So this woman and her ex-husband are actually both lawyers, and it was a very, very contentious divorce. Her doorbell goes off, and it is a young woman with a large bouquet of flowers and asks if this person is Layla. And she says yes. And she is given this bouquet of flowers. So now this woman's name is Layla. You're welcome. The flowers are from her mother, by the way, and her mother had convinced her to not move back to the Midlands to be close to her, but to move south because that's where all her friends are and her job is. So, I mean, she's only living 12 miles from her old home, but this does mean that she can have joint custody of her dog with her ex-husband. She unpacks everything, and just as she's going to bed, she hears piano music playing in the background. That is important. That's the only reason why I included it in my notes because at the moment didn't seem important. But the next morning comes too
I
soon.
thought it was going to be way cooler and creepier, and I thought it was going to be like a way bigger deal with the music, like creepier, but
The person who plays it is creepy.
yes.
And he,
But I thought the music was going to be like
oh,
a
well,
whole thing.
it,
Like goes on like
oh,
she doesn't
but
know or like tortures her with it or something,
no,
you know.
but it is important
Oh,
based
absolutely.
on the context later on, like at the
Oh,
end. Yeah.
absolutely.
But yeah, no, I get it. But anyway, so she is ready for her new job. So she worked at a different law firm, but left after her divorce, and now she's working at a much smaller one. But she is greeted warmly, and she didn't go into full detail as why she left the old law firm, just that it was due to her divorce and the relationship she had with her ex and senior partner, Jacob. She is introduced to everybody at this law firm, and it's kind of refreshing because it's not nearly as busy as the old one, which can be a good thing. The next few days go by pretty quietly, and when she gets home one day, there's a handwritten invitation for a Violet Lane barbecue for the next day. And the RSVP is to Phyllis, which is another one of her neighbors. It's pretty much like to just welcome her to the neighborhood. And Layla wants
It's
to get
basically like this party's for you. Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Layla wants to get out of it because she just doesn't want to go. And who sends out an invitation with little notice? Honestly, if you first move in, that it makes sense why you would get an invitation this quick to when it is. So I get it. As she's contemplating this, her doorbell rings again, and she opens it, and it's Phyllis, and she's just checking to see you're gonna come, right? And asking if she's got any dietary requirements, and like really begging her to go. So that happens. So then she wakes up, goes to bed, wake up. There's a lot of next day, next day, next day. I'm like, okay, we're just flu, 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 flu. And then sometimes it's like 3 days later. And I'm like, all right, sounds great. We get a little bit of a backstory of her divorce. Basically, Jacob cheated on her with the secretary at her job. By the way, those two are not together. He's married to somebody else. And we'll get into that later. But she's going to head over to this barbecue and she is meeting a ton of different people in the neighborhood. We meet the gay couple, Jamie and Rico. They're married. Then we have Jackie and Finn, and they have a baby, Melanie. And they're all trying to just have a good time. They're all drinking and they all get to know each other. And as the quote unquote interrogation is going on, they're interrupted by Max, kind of trying to see that, be like, hey, Phyllis, don't interrogate the new neighbor. Max is a paramedic and they call him their local hero. So it's nice because we start getting introduced to like the characters in the neighborhood. I kind of like that. They're all a mess, but that's fine. Phyllis kind of seems like she's up to no good by hinting that Max is single. You know, hint, hint. But she also like hints towards Finn being attractive too, which was fucking weird to me, but okay. But Layla can see as Phyllis is talking to her, Jackie talking to Finn, and she can see it's a little bit of a tense situation, but she's not going to question it because it's none of her fucking business what these married people are doing and talking about. Throughout the entire night, Max keeps looking at her and their eyes keep meeting. And yes, he is a really good looking man, but she's starting to get done with this party, which I can fully fucking understand. I would have been done immediately. And
I wouldn't have gone.
she starts to leave and they want her to stay, but she just
I
says,
probably would
listen,
have.
yeah, she needs to start unpacking and whatever. So she can't. So she goes home and she starts food prepping and then she gets another doorbell ring. So many people ring doorbells in this neighborhood. Shut the fuck up. That was like my biggest thing. I'm like, oh, doorbell ring again. Who the fuck is it today? I would simply not answer. Like, no, thank you. Surprise, surprise, it's Max. Here's my thing with Max. He is very full on from the beginning of this book of trying to get into her pants and like be with her.
It's intense.
And like, he's so overly flirty. She turns him down
It's
by
so intense. I would have been like, goodbye.
like there is like pursuing somebody with interest to like, I mean there's the unhinged man. This is like creepy. This was like a lot.
I would have said bye-bye.
She tries. Just so you know, she tries to say bye-bye
I would have said
quite a
bye-bye
few
more.
times.
And then I would have said bye-bye with a knife or a gun or something. I don't have a gun. but I would have said done it with something if he is not
God.
listening to my bye-bye. It
Holy
was
shit.
intense and aggressive, and I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it was a lot. So she turns him down by saying she doesn't feel well, maybe another time. Sunday morning comes around and she's just lounging about and she hears the lawnmower and it's Max, of course, and he's out mowing his lawn shirtless. They say topless, same fucking difference. And of course, he catches her staring at him, and she starts to have some really sexual thoughts. And she just thinks, oh, it has been way too long since I've had actual sex. I need to get control of myself. But she decides she's going to garden in her small little garden, and she spends hours doing this. And then when she's done, lays in her lounger and falls asleep. Max ends up waking her up and he brings up a bottle of champagne asking if she would like to drink some because he doesn't want to drink by himself. And obviously, she turned him down the night before. So, duh, let's ask you now while you're asleep, lady, because that makes sense. But she agrees, even though she really doesn't want to because he is a person that she doesn't fucking know. And just so you know, there are not a single perfect character in this book. And she makes so many questionable choices throughout this entire book. Like this whole thing. We learn that Max is the one who's playing the piano. And they go out to the garden and drink and get to know each other. They talk about relationships, which I feel like if you just met this person, that is not something I want to discuss with a person, but okay, whatever. He just, I don't know.
None of my business.
Yeah, she asks him to play something for her on the piano, and he does, and it's beautiful, and she loves it. Fabulous. Max wants to continue drinking, but she has to work, and she needs to be on her game. And as he
Plus,
goes to
she just doesn't want to
continue this whole,
imbibe that much in front of him and be not in charge of herself and be around.
yeah, well, she caves pretty quickly. As he goes to leave, he almost kisses her and just tells her it was lovely to get to know her. She finds it really hard to concentrate at work the next day, and she gets called into the police station to have a client who's been charged with driving with excess alcohol. And this whole situation doesn't really go anywhere, but I think I know why they put it in there is to like, because they ask questions later of when everything starts happening to her. Did you have anybody like a client who was whatever? It was a whole thing. I didn't really care about it. So she is very happy to go home though, and she really does kind of want to see Max, but she also doesn't want to see him and doesn't want a relationship with him. And especially she does not want a relationship with her next door neighbor. It also should be noted that Max drives a motorcycle. So when she turns back onto her street to go home, she's kind of disappointed that Max's bike is not parked in his driveway. But it's book club night with her friend Jasmine. And even though, she moved away, an extra couple miles, she still needs to go. And then again, she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to stay home. She takes out her phone and she actually starts to try to find Max on any social media, but she literally finds nothing. The only thing she finds is like an old newspaper report kind of confirming that he is indeed a paramedic. For me,
After a lot of deep diving.
and for me, this is not enough information, and I am way
No.
too nosy, and I need to know literally everything about everybody, especially considering the fact of how much information she learns later on. She did not dive deep enough. Like, this is like a bare minimum deep dive. She goes to Jasmine's house and talks about Max because obviously, she needs to. This would be like me coming to you and you not asking, like, you need to know everything. And she goes home after book club, and Max's bike is actually parked in front of his house. And she kind of lingers, pretending to struggle to put her keys in, thinking maybe he would come out. And when she goes up to her bedroom, she hears the piano being played. She is awoken in the middle of the night to her window creaking, which honestly, living alone can get really creepy. And like when I used to travel and I was home by myself, dude, it's creepy as fuck being in a silent house with nobody around. Like, it is so creepy. But her alarm goes off and she realizes she's going to be late for work. And then her car doesn't want to start. So Max is there because when isn't he there? And he actually gives her a ride into work on the back of his motorcycle, much to her protest at this because he gives her zero choice. So he brings her to work and tells her that he is going to pick her up after work. And she's like, I can get a taxi. But he just does it anyways because he doesn't know the word no. And since she doesn't have to be in a rush to get home after work, he asks her if maybe they could just go for a ride, and they do. And then he ends up kissing her. And he asks if she wants to go home because, of course, she does. And as soon as they get there, he is on top of her, kissing her. And this escalated really quickly. And then they fuck. But the only thing is, she always calls it making love, which is a wild statement to somebody you just met, but okay, whatever. and he wants to have sex with her all night long and are just about to go for round two, and his work phone goes off and he needs to leave. And she's just like fine with everything, but then after a little bit, it hits her that she just had sex with her neighbor. Sure, it was really fucking good sex, but she also cannot.
That's not the brightest idea,
No, but she can't allow herself to
especially
fall for
with
this man,
that involved of a neighborhood.
especially where this man doesn't know the word no. That's the
Yeah.
craziest part about this whole. That's not the craziest part, but that was like a wild thing. They do end up exchanging phone numbers, by the way, before this. But so the next day when she gets home from work, again, she still hasn't seen his bike and she actually hasn't heard from him at all. But she's not worried because, this is her first night having her dog. She's got a lab. And her ex-husband, Jacob, comes to drop the lab off. And he's a dick to her about literally everything, wanting to view the house. But at the same time, he's just not a nice dude, but whatever. So she's going to bring Ludwig, which is the dog's name, out for a walk. And she sends Max a text just saying, I hope all is well. Thank you for the other night. I had a great evening. And before she goes to bed, she switches out the light and he still hasn't messaged her back. In the middle of the night, again, because a lot of things happen in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, in my
It
dreams.
dreams.
Her dog starts barking like aggressively because Max is tossing shit out her window to get her attention. Apparently, her phone was off and he didn't know how to contact her. So he apparently thought that this was the best way. Instead of, letting her sleep like a normal person. But do you want to know who does not like this? Her
The
dog.
dog.
And he is
Children
barking.
and dogs. We need to listen to them.
And listen, because this is the biggest fucking red flag because dogs are so intuitive.
That's what I mean. If a child or a dog doesn't like somebody, I don't need another reason.
Mhm.
I literally do not need another reason. If a child gets a weird feeling or a dog gets a weird or a pet gets a weird feeling, I don't
I don't know
care.
about the pet thing because let me just tell you what, cats don't give two fucks about anybody.
Well,
Cats don't
but
count.
dogs in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but some people's
Especially dogs.
cats are like that. That's why I
Mhm.
said pets, because some people's cats are really
Gotcha.
like that. It just depends on
But yeah, dogs and children are like two of the
dogs, but
biggest
dogs
ones.
and children are like
Yeah,
absolutely
absolutely. So, but I mean, she ignores 99% of
vibes.
the red flags that this man gives her anyways.
So it doesn't fucking
So you
matter.
know what? Whatever. So she says fine. And she allows Max into the house and basically tells the dog to stop being jealous, which was wild. And then her and Max fuck again. A week goes by and she kind of realizes that her and Max are in a kind of relationship. Like they just have sex a lot. They don't actually speak. She ends up missing book club that week, and we also learn about her and Jasmine's history, like how they met and became friends and all that jazz. But Jasmine wants to know all about this neighbor, and she ends up spilling stuff about him. But Jasmine kind of points out that he's just kind of using her for a booty call and to just be careful, and asks if it's really sensible to be having a relationship with her neighbor. And fucking Layla withholds information from her friend about how Max actually makes her feel. And Jasmine just wants her to take care. Like they're just Jasmine's being a good friend, okay? She's trying to be like get get a hold of yourself, lady. Like really think about this.
Just take a step back and just
Yeah.
reevaluate and don't think
Yeah.
with your dick.
Yeah. So Jasmine's at her house. This is well, yeah. Just thinking with my dick. Sorry. So throughout dinner, as they're talking, they hear piano music, and Jasmine asks, "Oh, he listens? That's interesting." Layla says, "No, he plays." And now Jasmine decides she needs to meet this man. I need to make it very clear that they have been drinking a lot, so Jasmine is fucking shit faced.
I don't think I would need the alcohol.
This
I
is
would probably
so
just do it
funny to me
anyways.
though. This was so funny. And she goes to the fence that divides their gardens and screams out for Max that she wants to meet him. And he does finally meet her. He comes out and Jasmine basically insists that Max joins them. And again, she's fucking drunk as shit, but she also lets things slip how she thinks that Max is just using Layla for her body. And Max does apologize and says that he only has Layla's best intentions at heart. Blit. And work has just been crazy. And he can't wait to take her out to dinner and to, meet each other's friends. And all of this finishes because Max has to go get ready for work. And Layla asks Jasmine, what the fuck? And Jess says, listen, he's attractive and he has all those really good qualities, But why isn't he married or in a long-term relationship? If he is like this perfect man, which is a very valid point, because if he is smart, employed, talent, like he has all of these things, like all these little check boxes, what is wrong with him that he's not dating anybody in his 40s?
Maybe he just wasn't ready, just enjoying himself. But I meant in general. Like, some men just kind of haven't found the right person. Women be crazy too sometimes.
Yeah. After Jasmine leaves,
But I mean, I know what his problem is, but
I do too. Layla is alone in her bed and she gets a message from Max saying he got home really late, so he wasn't going to go over after work, which is unusual for them, anyways, because normally this man just busts into her house, anyways, because he doesn't give two shits. So another day, she comes home and there's two marked police cars on the street. Turns out Jackie, we met her at the party, is missing. And the police are going to be questioning everybody. So now we're getting into the rut-row part of the story.
into the woods, into the woods.
Yep. And Layla has no idea where this woman is. And they're just asking, have you
Why would
seen
she?
her? You never know.
Yeah, I guess.
It
That would have
could,
been cool if she was the
that would have
bad
been,
guy.
I would have loved that. Layla's asking about the daughter and everything because they have a kid, but they please tell her like if she thinks of anything just to get in touch with the police officers. They won't give her any more information, which she understands because she is a lawyer, but she's just hoping that nothing has harmed Jackie. So she sends Max a message asking if he heard the news, but she doesn't end up hearing back from him at all. And there are still cops sitting in the neighborhood the next day as well, which is not great. And she still hasn't heard from Max and she hasn't seen his bike either. So she's trying to tell herself, like, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to get hurt. Max can do whatever he wants, like all this other shit. As she's doing all this thinking, she sees Finn and another woman coming out of their house with a baby. So the lady it's a babysitter. She's like their babysitter. She's also
Well, she's not sure who it is at first. We know
at the
that
time,
it's,
I'm just putting
yeah,
that information. That's who she is.
it's not. It's
So
if you
it's
want,
her
it's her
so
the best friend
it's
of,
the
yeah,
best friend, but she is hired as a child minder. That is
yeah,
literally her job.
right,
That's what I'm
right.
saying. Like
She's just
I was gonna get
watching the,
there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
watching the
She's
kid while
assisting
everything's going
while
on.
yes. I mean, she was around anyways before. She does end up getting a message from Max and he's just apologizing. I guess his mom was not doing very well and he also wants to take her away for a weekend away.
Take me
Uh
away.
yeah, during book club night, they talk about the disappearance, and there is like a very big similarity between what Jackie looks like and what Layla looks like. So they both have black hair, blue eyes. So interesting. It turns out that Jackie has actually been missing for 4 days. And she also learns through this book club that her ex husband, who is married to her old best friend, is pregnant. Her husband is not pregnant. His wife is pregnant,
Wife, his new wife, yeah.
yeah. Which sucks for Layla because she really wanted a baby. And at the time, her ex husband didn't want them. So this like
That's
really hits her
part of
hard.
their
Yeah.
contention and everything.
Yeah. So she heads back to work. She's greeted by the secretary saying that the local police officers want to talk to her. It's actually Finn, and he is trying to get her to be his lawyer because they think he had something to do with his wife's disappearance. Basically, they had gotten into an argument and she stormed out of the house and she didn't come back home. He assumed that she went to her mother's house, but we learned that's not what happened. So we don't know. She just was not at her mom's house. And Finn needs to have an interview with the police, and Finn's just having such a fucking hard time. It's very, very clear that Finn didn't do this. But as anyone who does true crime knows, like it's usually the husband. Like it's usually so it makes sense that they're questioning the husband. Layla gets a phone call from her ex-husband saying, "Hey, yo, Rosa, which is the wife, is sick and her mom is sick and they need to go visit. So can she take the dog?" So she's going to take the dog, but then he starts talking to her about the case and asking if she should really be representing this because it's such a high-profile case. And he tells her like, "If you get out of your depth, you can just pick up the phone and call me." He's being really like rude and annoying about it, but
He's used to
whatever.
being her boss.
He really is.
He needs
He's
to
just,
back
he's just
off.
being a dick. So whatever. She gets the dog and takes him out for a walk, and she's interrupted by Phyllis, who wants to clearly talk to her about something. And they go back to Phyllis's house, and she learns some tea about Finn and Jackie. And how they were always at each other's throats and they were always fighting. And this conversation makes her feel really fucking uncomfortable. So she tries to kind of steer away from it because clearly Phyllis thinks that Finn did it. She ends up leaving because, duh. Max texts her and they end up having phone sex while he is at his mom's house. And he talks her into this because she did not want to do this at all. But this man always talks her into doing things that she's uncomfortable with. So, because he doesn't know the word no. He lets her know that he booked a hotel for the weekend. And when she's done, she thinks, what the fuck did I even do? I barely even know this man. Why would you go away on a weekend with a
Couldn't be me.
man?
Couldn't be
Listen,
me.
listen, Anna. You can't marry a man you just met.
I mean, it's crazy, but we finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh God. So whatever. And she's also thinking like they just did that on the phone. What the fuck? Because they had the phone sex. But anyways, so the next morning while she's making breakfast, she turns on the TV and Jackie's disappearance is on the news because obviously. And she is so worried for Finn because he's so distraught that Jackie is missing, but he's also like the prime suspect. She gets a message from Max letting her know all the information for the weekend. And while she thinks she shouldn't go because this is such a high profile case, yeah, you dumb bitch. Why would you? So many choices were made, but she does feel like she needs some time off. For what? You have been in this town for a week. Maybe. I actually have no idea. And they head out to stay at the
Time doesn't
cottage.
exist.
Yeah. They stay at the cottage. They end up having sex and then they discuss the possibility of children. Max really wants kids. Layla thinks that maybe it's too late for her, but he is like super fucking insistent. He also says he wants to have kids with her quite a few times. They have sex a few more times and then they go to bed. And she is awoken in the middle of the night again because Max is touching her. And then he fucks her. And he's so rough.
Listen, she thinks that he's probably sleeping at first.
Yeah,
That first.
at first. He's not. He's really, really, really rough. And she's trying to get him to not do this. Like she's saying no. But then she also ends up giving in. And then he ends up choking her. And she's so scared that he's going to choke her to death. He doesn't. And then afterwards, he apologizes. And like, he didn't even care about her pleasure at all during all of this like sex stuff. And he says, listen, I just wanted you to experience the most
Well,
intense
she
orgasm.
did,
Well, I'm just saying
but
he was more, it was just,
she didn't think he right.
yeah. He's like, I just wanted you to experience the most intense orgasm. I should have discussed it with you first. No fucking shit. That
So
is
that's
something you
why
talk about
in
first.
her mind she was allowing him to gaslight her because, well, that is true. It did
Yeah.
work, and I guess he didn't mean it. And you know,
And he's like, I'm also a paramedic and I know how the human body works. Okay, good for you. So this was just a lot. And she's conflicted, asking like herself, she doesn't ask out loud, why she could feel so turned on yet scared. And honestly, this gave me really, really sketchy vibes with this man because mm, in this is like something you have a conversation with, but if you're going to like wake someone up with fucking them, that's something you discuss prior as something that you're okay with happening. Consent. Consent is
choking
important.
someone. How about that?
Choking especially, like, because choking can go wrong really quick. It doesn't matter if you're a paramedic or not. Like it could literally
Maybe we just
go
don't do any of that without.
nothing without consent. Also, this man has the libido of an early 20s man. Not long after he gets himself cleaned up, he wants to make it up to her again because he's already horny and he just ends up eating her out. She was like contemplating not like being like, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't care. Consent doesn't exist to him. So, anyways, it's still super awkward between the two of them the next morning because obviously something shifted because this is insanity. But they head back home to Violet Lane and he lets her know that he had a glorious weekend. Okay, good for you, sir. And he apologizes for what happened the night before and he hopes that she won't hold it against him. And she just says, listen, I have a really busy week. Like I'm not rushing you off, but like we can touch base Wednesday or Thursday. And he agrees. On Monday morning, she gets a call from Finn because they want him to attend an official interview. And he doesn't want anything to do with this. And Finn's really fucking frustrated because he thinks that they should be looking somewhere else. We learn through this that his wife had an affair, but didn't actually really have an affair because he was like, well, it kind of wasn't an affair. Guess who? With Max. Whoop.
She's like, it was just a fling. Yeah.
Yeah. And now Layla's thinking, what the actual fucking hell? So, what the hell is going on? And at lunchtime, because everything's overwhelming, at lunchtime, she goes outside to take a breath. And while she's out there, Ellie, which is the friend who's been watching the baby, is putting up posters for Jackie. And again, she's tells her, like, oh, I'm a child minder, which is, yeah. And she had been
A nanny.
Jackie, yeah, she had been Jackie's best friend, and they've known each other since they were kids. And then Ellie invites her to the vigil that they're going to have. Internally, Layla is freaking the fuck out because Max has never said anything about having a fling with Jackie. I mean, realistically, I don't know why he would
He
say,
would have, but
but at the same time, with the situation going on with Jackie missing and Finn and all this other stuff, you would think that this would be something he would say, but whatever. Layla is thinking back to the barbecue when Jackie was like super tense, but like she thinks Max and Finn were being perfectly fine. Layla talks with Jasmine and even admits that there's a lot of love bombing going on right now. That like he sent her flowers, he sent her home cooked food, and then he recorded her a piano piece. And he's just going balls to the wall with everything. By Thursday, she realizes she needs to make a decision. And Max asks her if they can go out with some of his friends just so that she can meet them. At first, she doesn't really want to go because when does this woman want to do literally anything, which I can understand. But like the problem is she says she doesn't want to go and then she still goes. If I say I don't want to go to something, I'm not doing it. No, it's called putting boundaries. But then again, she doesn't
right.
have them. And she decides whatever. She just needs the reassurance that Max is actually a good person. And what better way than to talk with his friends? Well, just so you guys know, friends can lie, so whatever. Are you kidding me? Ariel will probably make me look like the greatest person on the planet if I ask her to.
Wait until this bitch's funeral.
Don't tell them I'm crazy. No, are you kidding me? If I ever die before Ariel, Ariel will be in charge to make sure that no one lies about me and tells them how good of a person I actually am.
No, she will have a shrine in her honor, and everyone will only be allowed with, I will have a cattle prod at their back. Only everyone will
Like,
only be able to
bitch,
say
you
nice things.
bitch.
And if they don't make the list or can't say nice things, I will stab them and make them leave.
Then Ariel will end up in jail.
Yeah, that's
Um,
okay. I'll be probably be 90 anyways, so it's
Listen,
okay.
jokes on everybody. We're dying together and getting buried in a heart-shaped casket with our hands. Anyways, but so she agrees to go and she
That'd be the
learned.
best funeral ever. That'd be the funnest party.
Did I ever tell you that my mom wants me? So I'm in charge of my mom's funeral. She wants an open tequila bar at her funeral.
Solid.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I love that. But through her past mistakes with her ex-husband, Jacob, she knows that like her partner's choice of friends matter. She heads out to the pub. She meets everybody. She realizes that all Max talks about to his coworkers is her. But she also gets little interesting tidbits about Max that he's actually only been in this town for 18 months, which seems like something you would share with a potential. If he's like as balls to the wall with her as he is, I would think I would drop all of it, but whatever. But he has been a paramedic for a decade and he used to live in a city. And she kind of brings it up to him later because they haven't really talked because all they do is fuck. Yeah. And when they get back, she does invite him into her house. And again, these people don't talk. And all she wants to do is bring this up. But she invites him back inside the house because she is weak and they have sex again. But afterwards, he realizes, rut the condom broke. And all she can think about is him and Jackie because did the condom break with them? Did they not use one? And she gets a little tense and he's, oh no, calm down. And they go and take a hot shower and then they bang in the shower.
You
So
need to calm
I guess
down.
she wasn't that upset about it.
She was very digmatized. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
It couldn't have been that
I
good.
was just gonna say that.
I'm sorry, but
It couldn't have been that good.
I I really hesitate to say this out loud, but I feel like
I've never had dick that good.
right. Well, that's the thing. And I do I need to hold auditions or something because there there can't be anything that good.
No.
But prove me wrong?
Well, I guess that's the God help
No,
our
just
emails.
kidding. Just kidding.
It gets a little tense, so they go and take a
Just
hot shower and then they bang in the
if
shower.
anybody would have found out by now, it probably would have been you in your 20s, but you didn't. So
I
there can't be that good. You did make some choices,
I
that
did.
questionable choices
Yeah,
for Dick.
a couple of them
You did make some
were
questionable choices for Dick.
a couple of
Let's be
them were
real.
worth it. No, I made a lot of questionable choices for Dick. I ended up in someone's basement once. I got choked out to the point I saw stars once. That did traumatize the other person. That is, they're still traumatized.
Starships were meant to
And I
fly.
still bring it up from time to time, and it's really funny because I'm
Mhm.
still friends with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, a couple were that good, but not good enough that I would
This
ignore.
good.
Not this good.
This
This
good.
this
That's what I
is
mean.
this is a different level of
And
good.
this is like scary. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to find that
Like
out.
I would have to be put into a wheelchair for it to be
And
okay.
do I want that?
No, because I like walking
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
I want to be treated like a princess, but at the same time,
But
like
I,
not that way.
no. Right.
Wait, so let's continue. So they go to bed. What?
I was gonna say, welcome to Thriller Month, everyone.
Where we talk about Crystal's questionable dick choices.
I just, ugh.
Yeah. So they go to bed and she awakens because the doorbell is ringing. Again, what do you know? The doorbell is ringing. What a surprise. And it's the cops. So Finn is brought back in again. And she now,
About to fin again. I
just
just that
now,
I know that's not the song, but that's all that keeps going in my head. About to fin
I'm
again.
about to sin again. Yeah.
I'm about to fin again.
Oh my
They're gonna
God.
get fin again.
Good Lord.
Hmm.
She only now, makes it clear to Max what happened, and she lets him know that she is Finn's lawyer and that they need to publicly keep their distance. There is a vigil, and there
I
are
think they should have
whispers
kept the
kept
distance,
distance a while
period.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware. They have a vigil, and there's little whispers here and there about Finn. And at the vigil, Finn just runs up to Max and he is livid. And
Mm.
before he can punch Max in the face, Layla interrupts and lets him know that they need to have a word. The next morning, she gets another phone call that they need to go back to the police station. And this is where we learn Finn has been arrested. So apparently, they found traces of Jackie's blood in the kitchen, which to me is a crazy way to try to arrest somebody because they live there and whatever. And
They were
Finn
grasping at straws for
literally,
anything.
yeah. And Finn is just so insistent that he is being framed and he thinks that Max did it. And why will nobody listen? Because he hasn't done anything wrong. And Layla's head is just conflicting because she's trying to imagine Max hurting Jackie and she can't. But here's the thing with that is
He hurt you.
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
How can you not imagine this?
yeah, right? I was like,
This
he,
blows my brain.
choked you, but whatever. But so we learned that Jackie was actually stabbed to death. So that is how she died. We learned this because they found her body. And yeah, stabby stabs. Oops. Max turns up at her doorstep with Chinese food and a bottle of wine, and Max is asking questions about the case, but she says, I literally can't disclose anything. But then she asks Max how well did he know Finn and Jackie, and he hesitates and just says, hardly at all. Bitch, what? See, this is when you could have come clean, Max. This is when you could have said something, but whatever. And he doesn't admit anything and also tries to change the subject every time. She clocks this, which is crazy that she can sense this because she's stupid, but she's also just feeling out of it. And she says, listen, I think I just need an early night. And she kicks him out of the house, but he does not want to go at all. And he's really trying to make it so he can stay, but she's no. And she realizes that she forgot to take the morning after pill. Whoops. She tosses and turns most of the night thinking about Max and wondering if anything.
But she's old, so she knows it's impossible.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Yeah. She's wondering if anything that Finn said might be true. Like at 4 a.m., she decides that, oh God, I got to talk to the neighbors. Not right at 4 a.m., but she's just thinking to herself because she's not sleeping. And she just needs to talk with people to figure things out. So she is heading out for work and she sees Ellie tugging along the baby carriage. And Ellie's like, hey, can I talk to you? And Ellie is like, listen, you have to get Finn off because he's not a violent man. He did not do this. And Layla is like, hey, so like, I heard that Jackie was having an affair. Is this true? And Ellie asks if Finn told her. And Layla says, well, he mentioned something. Ellie says, yeah, I mean, they were having problems, but they were working through it. Jackie even booked in for marriage guidance counseling. But, Jackie loved Melanie and Finn, and the two of them were determined to make their family work and that they don't deserve this. So please, you need to help them. By the time she gets to work, she realizes that Ellie never actually answered the question if Jackie was having an affair. And so she's still not fully convinced that Max and Jackie were fucking. And honestly, you're living in a super delusion at that point. If like you're just that
La
is
la
dress
la 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 la.
right? So Max is calling her and asking if she's free because he's got something for her. And she says, oh, well, I still have to work, but I'll come
Yeah,
over
his
and like
dick.
right? When she gets there, he just wrote her a song on piano. And as they're standing to get out, she sees Phyllis because they go to leave and they're like embraced at the door. And she sees Phyllis staring at them. Whoa, not good. The next day, her boss is there and asks if he can have a word with her. She internally is concerned that, oh my God, he has discovered her conflict of interest, which, by the way, you would think that at this point, if you know you have a conflict of interest, you should probably step the fuck away. But okay, he didn't. This man is just a sweet, sweet old man. But apparently, there is a fete going on. The company is a sponsor and they need a representative. So they want her to go to help plan and do all this other shit. She agrees, and when she goes home, there's an envelope on her doormat that says, I know what's going on. You're an evil woman. Get out of town. So, oh fuck. Now she's like, what the hell? Did Phyllis write this? Because she thinks that Phyllis is the only one who saw this. And she tells Max about it, and she thinks that she should take it to the police and ask maybe if it could be Phyllis, but Max doesn't think so. She ends up going to the police, shows them the letter, and they kind of just tell her it's probably nothing, but they log it anyways. Saturday night, Max invites her out for dinner at a hotel, and throughout dinner, they kind of discuss things, but then they talk about children. And he, again, is just so aggressive throughout this about wanting children, but he's also super fucking distracted throughout this entire dinner. This man gets even more fucking unhinged and proposes to her at this dinner.
I just my entire that I just my brain was like, really? Like I saw it once they were at dinner, but I was like, really? But really?
Yeah. She says, she doesn't say yes, but it's a deferred yes,
Are
not
you
an
playing
actual
the
yes.
how unhinged can I think she was just trying to save them face because it was very public.
It's just weird because a deferred yes. So she won't even have a backbone and say no.
Well,
Bitch,
she was
I would
basically like, just ask me when we've been together longer. Ask me in a few months.
a
He's
few
like, okay, so
months,
like
but
I
a
was like,
few months?
bro, yeah.
No. So they go back to her house, but he does not follow her in because he says he needs to go to work. And she's thinking that Max has been acting really fucking weird, but whatever. Later on that night, she gets a phone call from Max and he's outside and it's just a booty call. The next day, she calls the DS, which is like the head people. I don't fucking know. What is DS? It's,
Like
I can't remember
the
the
head detective person.
yeah, that person. Because she hasn't heard anything from the police. Well, turns out she's no longer Finn's lawyer. Her ex-husband has now taken the case and she is pissed. So she calls her ex-husband's office and they do not put her through. And she knows all their tricks. So she's like, fuck this shit. And she goes to talk to him and confronts him because she knows that he has a very rigid schedule and like she knows at a certain time every day he does lunch and blah, blah, blah. So she shows up and talks with him, and he's really fucking smug about it. And he even says, you screwed up when you fucked the person that your client thinks is actually guilty. Your client is unlikely to trust you any longer, and says that she's so lucky that they're not talking to the ethics committee, which, to be honest,
I think the ex-husband just kind of wormed his way into that whole thing. Yes, she
oh,
should not have done any
absolutely.
of that, but
But no, at the same,
wild.
yes. And now she's dejected and she's wondering how Finn find out. That is your question, is how Finn found out, but okay. About her and Max. And she ends up telling her
Yeah.
boss that she lost Finn as a client. She didn't tell him why she lost Finn as a client, though, but okay. And this man, though, is understand he's it's okay. We're not a big enough firm for this case. It's fine. He's a little disappointed, but he's so kind about it. This man did not deserve this bitch as an employee. And this makes her feel even more terrible. Good, it should. And then we have her going to her niece's birthday party, which is Jasmine's daughter, and she gets talked to and asked about what's going on with her and Max. Jasmine's like, so what information do you know about this man? She goes, well, really not much because there's not much online. And Jasmine's like, did you Google him? And this conversation really puts it into Layla's mind that she really needs to look into this man more. No fucking shit, you dumbass bitch. You probably should have done that from as a lawyer, as a lawyer. And she leaves.
I feel like she was only a lawyer because her husband was her boss. I mean,
Yeah,
really, like,
really and truly at this point. Yeah, as much as she wants to play it off that she's actually a good lawyer, she's a terrible lawyer.
yeah,
And so she leaves her friend's house, and as she turns onto Violent Lane, something is different. And she sees Phyllis coming out of her front door talking to Ellie. Turns out Finn is back home, and he is no longer a person of interest. New evidence has come in. And the fact that her ex husband got this solved so fucking quick also shows she's a terrible lawyer.
that she couldn't have done any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she spends the rest of the week unsettled because Max has still not come back from wherever. He sent a message that he's on late shift and will be spending the next day with his mom. And then she gets another fucking envelope on her doorstep. And this says to be careful who you're sleeping with. You might be next. So fuck, dude. So she takes this letter to the police and she's all in her head when she ends up running into Finn. And he tells her that he hopes there is no bad feelings because he dumped her for a bigger firm without an explanation. And they're just going to walk together and talk together. So what happened is after they found Jackie, they did a postmortem and they found out the exact time of death, and it could prove that he was literally nowhere nearby any of this. Towards the end of this conversation, he warns her off of Max and just says he's not a good guy. He doesn't have any concrete proof, but Finn just does not trust him. She asks him about the letters, but he has no idea anything about them, and then asks if Max told her that he had been sleeping with Jackie and also that she was pregnant when she died. He let her know that she told Max that she was pregnant and that Max knew, but Finn was totally cool with taking over and having this child and treating it like his own. And now she needs to do some fucking proper research, which she shouldn't have done in the first place. She ends up locating an ex girlfriend of his who, when she calls, hangs up the phone. Like, as soon as she mentions his name, she talks to his previous employer and they just say he was good at his job, but they were kind of like cagey about some other things about him. Like, whatever. She should have done this deeper work the first time. So we learn. So the ex that she had talked to is Tara, and this woman looks identical to her. And now we're getting to the point where she realizes she's being sick and she's probably pregnant. What? Whoa. Well, you didn't do all the things that you were supposed to. But she needs to go to this party committee thing and she starts planning out shit. And when it's time to leave, she's saying goodbye because Max is in this committee as well. And she's been avoiding
Which
Max.
why?
I don't know. I don't know.
And I
Maybe
just
because it's a small, I don't fucking know. I got nothing. And she's trying to avoid him because she wants to go get a pregnancy test and he's not letting her go, but she's not about to drop the bomb that she's potentially pregnant. And as they're walking, Finn approaches and tells Layla she needs to stay away from Max. And then Finn punches Max in the face, which fair. Afterwards, Max says that he's sorry if Finn was giving her grief and then tells her he wants her and he wants to have sex with her. Okay. So they go back to whatever. And then this man continues on the non-consent page and pulls out a box of sex toys. And she is like super not into this. And he just keeps trying to bring stuff on her. And she tells him, listen, like, I'm tired. I don't want this. Can we do this another night? And he's kind of disappointed. And he goes, I'm sorry that I brought this out on you again. Don't you think to ask before you do the things from the last time?
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, he doesn't.
Next morning, she's sick again. And guess what? She's pregnant. Who saw that coming? She does not want to tell anybody. And she doesn't even want to tell Max until they're completely sure about their relationship. And tonight, she's going to ask him about his relationship with Jackie and all of his previous relationships. And we do learn that, yes, he did fuck Jackie, but it was a one night stand and they both regretted it. And Finn found out about it a few days before she disappeared. He says that that wording was a little weird to me because I don't
Yes.
know if it
And
happened a few days before or because if it did, the timing
then
wouldn't make any sense, especially with the
no.
pregnancy thing. So, like, I
And not only
assume,
that, the party and the welcome thing was a few days before she disappeared.
right. So, but because then, yeah. So I don't know
That
if
made no sense.
that part. So I'm just going to
There was a couple
assume,
parts that
I'm just
timing made
assuming
no sense.
that maybe they found out after the party, or I don't know, but I would assume that they had the affair obviously enough time before the party that she would know she was pregnant, and it was just like a one-off thing, and then she found out she was pregnant, and then he found out about the affair, if that would make sense. That's how I am gonna say is what happened in
Who
my
the
brain.
fuck knows?
Yeah. He says he does not make a habit of sleeping with married women, and then she drops the bomb that Jackie was pregnant. But Max says he had no idea, which is interesting because Finn said that he knew about it.
Mhm.
So interesting. And then now Max's phone is going off and he's ignoring it. But Max is also fucking on edge with this conversation. And she even asks if the police know he had a relationship with Jackie, but he doesn't
Why
answer
would
this.
they?
Yeah, instead, he decides to finally pick up his phone and he says it's his mom. She does not believe him that it is his mom. So she ends up following him, but she ends up losing him. And now she's wondering why the fuck is he lying to her? But she does get another chance to follow him again when he lets her know, I'm going to go see my mom again. And she knows that it's like he dropped the name of the place and she knows the directions to that place. Apparently, I'm assuming maybe
Well,
she,
knows
the,
she he had said what town it was in or what city it was in or whatever.
gotcha. Yeah. And it's not the direction that he needs to go in. So when she follows him, he shows up to a house and answers a
In a
woman.
totally different direction.
Yep. And the person who answers it is a woman with black hair and blue eyes. And she looks a lot like Jackie and a lot like Tara and a lot like her. And whoa, she waits until Max leaves and then follows the woman. And the woman is picking up a kid and she thinks, oh, fuck. Is this Max's child? Because the child, she says, looks a lot like Max. Okay. And she just feels so broken because now she's like, oh, fuck, Max lied to her. This is the point where I was like, bitch, he's lied to you a lot. So this is your moment. This is the moment.
But it wasn't. Was it
It
the moment? It was
No, it
not.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. But she still has
We
no
wish it was the
information as
moment.
to why he left his previous job, but she also starts to call sick into work. And she just doesn't want to be around people and she wallows in her misery. She does go to the doctor's office finally just to make sure that everything is okay. And this should just be a happy moment for her, but she doesn't even know what the hell she should be doing. Max still tries to call her, but she just ignores the phone calls and she does eventually answer, but she just needs to end this relationship. And she tells him that she needs a break. And he is not understanding any of this conversation that they need a break. And he ends up showing up to her house to talk because he's worried about her. And she says, I need you to leave me alone. And he says, I'm only trying to help. And he gets a little like creepy about it at the end. And he does leave later on. So later on that night, though, she is awoken because someone tried to set her fucking house on fire. They threw something through the mail slot. So now this is escalating because now she had the two letters and now her fucking house almost got caught on fire. And honestly, if she hadn't woken up in the middle of the night when she did, she would have died in this
Mm.
fire. So they come to investigate and ask her if there's anybody who could possibly have anything against her at all. And she doesn't actually know. And now she's going to go stay with Max for the night because that's safe. He says
Well,
that,
that's the worst part. He came over saying that she was his girlfriend, and the cops were like, well, you can't stay here because this is a crime scene, so go stay with your boyfriend for the night. She's like, fuck.
Yeah. He says that they're not going to bang or anything, but he just wants to cuddle her. And she tells him that she needs to know about his past and his previous girlfriends because it's a big blank area. So he talks about this woman named Tara, and it was pretty intense with their breakup, and their breakup was really bad. And he felt like he had no choice but to leave. We learn later on, and I'm just going to spoil it now. He was an addict, and like he had gotten hurt, and then he got prescribed painkillers, and he became like super
Well,
addicted in
that's
this.
what he says, anyways.
Right. Later on, he says this. Yes. That
But
is
like,
the
we don't
excuse.
have
Yeah.
any verify
That it just
from
ruined.
Tara and anything.
Right. And it just ruined the entire situation. And Max pretty much tells her, like, I want to marry you. This man is so many red flags all at once, and it's just super aggressive. She gets a phone call in the morning with details about the incident at her house, and they're like, we're taking this very seriously. We're gonna do this investigation, and you can go back later on, but she's not gonna be home. She's at work, so she says you can just leave my keys with my neighbor. She does not refer to him as her boyfriend, which is funny. She just says my neighbor, and she'll get them on her way home. As she heads home that night, there's more police, and she sees Max being arrested, covered in blood. And ooh, Phyllis is dead. She steps in and says, I am Max's lawyer, out of panic because she just wants to know what the fuck is going on.
Just
And
a nosy bitch.
right? And they basically say they arrested him because he was caught red-handed over Phyllis's dead body.
With a
Max,
knife.
yeah, Max is. I know. I didn't think they said with a knife. I thought they just
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, okay." Max is insistent he did not do this. He pretty much got a phone call stating that Phyllis was having a stroke and he needed to go over immediately, and that's what he did. And when he got there, he found her dead. So now,
Well, he
holy
got
shit!
there and he found her bleeding and tried to
Like
uh,
assist.
assist her, and there was a knife on top of her, so he moved it to
Yeah.
pack her wounds, and yeah,
And now he's covered in her blood.
and his
Um.
hands are on was
Yeah.
prints are on the knife.
Yeah. So now she's thinking, holy shit, the father of her child and possibly future husband, what is like being charged with murder. But now she's also having stomach cramps, thinking she's fucking gonna lose this baby. So she calls her friend Jazz and they go to the hospital. She's fine. But the doctor's office tells her, like, you need to calm down because it's so stressful and she needs to relax. But she needs to make a doctor's appointment and go in. So now Max is also being charged with not just Phyllis's murder, but also Jackie's murder because they have Max's DNA on Jackie. So it was
In her
found,
the pocket of her
yeah,
jacket
yeah, it
on
was
a
found on a handkerchief. Yeah. And Max is continuously denying that he has anything to do with this. And he's just thinking, like, why? Like, why would he have killed Phyllis? Like, Jackie, for some reason, she can understand because of the baby thing. And I'm like, bitch, you can understand that? Like, what is wrong with you? A lot of things. She just doesn't understand about the Phyllis thing. So she goes to her boss and says, listen, I have to hand over Max's case because I have a personal relationship with him, which is probably the only smart thing she has done this entire book. She apologizes and he says, no, like you're doing what is the best interest of your client. And asks if she has anybody to refer him to. And like, first it was, do you want to refer your ex-husband? And she goes, absolutely fucking no, I don't. And she gives him the name of a colleague of hers. It's a female colleague, like ex-colleague, because she doesn't want anything to do with her ex-husband. So she ends up visiting Max in prison and she lets him know, I can't be your lawyer anymore. I'm too involved. And he is freaking the fuck out and saying, you cannot leave me. Like, I want to do what's best for you. I'm so worried about you and all this other shit. And he's just going fucking crazy because he's insane. And like he wants to save her, like because of the letter and the fire. And what if the person comes back and
and he
he's
had
like,
just installed the cameras in her
and yeah,
house.
he's like, I'm so convinced that Finn has something to do with this. But yes, he lets her know about the cameras installed in her house. He goes, there's two on the exterior, one about the front door, one about the patio, and they're concealed. But here's the app that you need, and here's the password. And she's thinking this is a lot because the password is
Their names
their
and
names
their
and
house
their house
numbers.
numbers. Bro. So
Forever.
yeah. And Yeah, and she confronts him about not actually visiting his mom, and he stays silent, and he doesn't really have much of anything to say. And now she needs to go to her midwife appointment. And while she's there, she runs into Ellie, and Ellie says she's just there for a regular doctor's appointment. Ellie's kind of sitting there and like hints basically at, well, when you have the baby, I can help you look after the baby. And I'm like, bitch, what are you doing here?
Mhm.
It's a whole thing. And she's like, look, I know Max is your boyfriend, but I don't really like him. Oh, no one likes Max for good reason. For a while, I was being gaslighted to myself, and I was like, well, okay, so maybe all these people just don't like Max, but he's actually like a decent person. He's not. For the record, he is not a good person.
Even if I were to allow myself to be gaslit the second the dog didn't like him, I was done.
Honestly, yeah, that is the key. As soon as she gets home, Layla starts looking through the cameras and sees footage that is pointed directly at Phyllis's front door. Ooh, gotta love cameras. And it's actually Finn running into the house, and he comes back out, runs towards a van, and then Max is going in. And now she thinks, oh, it's Finn who did this because what the fuck? But why are Finn's prints not on the knife? Maybe he had gloves, and she can't really tell from the video. She heads down to go to the police station, and she randomly runs into Finn, and he invites
She
her.
walks out of her house to go get in her car to go to the police station.
Yeah. And she ends up running into Finn, and he invites her over for a drink just to talk. And they go over to his house, and they just have a bit of a conversation. And she starts bringing up Phyllis, and she doesn't understand why Max would want to kill her. And she's trying to get information out of him, basically trying to figure out if he did this. She goes to leave, and he goes, I can explain. And she feels threatened, and she pulls a Rapunzel and smacks him over the head with a frying pan.
I
Like, what
still
the?
want to hear the explanation
Yeah.
because we
Thankfully,
never
he
got that,
doesn't
like
die.
fully of.
Yeah, fully, he doesn't die, but then she sees Ellie come in and oh fuck, what are they doing? And Ellie ends up being super fucking calm throughout this whole situation, trying to calm her down, being like, you know, you gotta be calm for the baby and da 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 da. And I'll call 911 for you. Layla overhears Ellie talking to 911. The dispatcher's trying to get people to come over, letting them know that they need an ambulance and it's urgent. Ellie makes her some tea and they just sit there and talk. And as they're talking, Layla starts to get really dizzy. And then Ellie turns into a crazy person because guess what? She was actually trying to fucking kill Layla because she killed Jackie and then she killed Phyllis. Jackie because Ellie
Oh
had this
no, who saw that coming?
Jackie, because Ellie had this Delulu fantasy that her and Finn were meant to be together, and Phyllis, because she was really nosy and started asking questions, and they threw Max under the bus because he was creepy and the perfect scapegoat. And that's it. And Layla's trying to ask her why. And Ellie says, I tried to warn you, but you didn't keep your nose out of things.
Because she
So,
was a crazy fucking bitch. She was clearly psychotic from the moment she got on page.
yeah. She goes, and oh, by the way, no police are coming because I didn't actually call them, and you're going to die too. And then Finn stands up and he had heard all this and he is pissed. And he goes, you fucking killed Jackie. You know, I never wanted to be with you. It was a mistake. So I'm assuming they slept together once. And I love Jackie. And then those two start to physically fight
So they slept together in retaliation
of the
for,
Max
yes,
and yes, okay.
yeah.
So they start to physically fight, and then Layla gets up and goes to throw up the poison that she just ingested, and then she comes back down, and then she slams the saucepan onto Ellie's head as hard as she can, and then she starts fucking beating the shit out of her, and he's like, "Yo." She's good and she doesn't die. So Ellie gets charged with the murders of Jackie and Phyllis, along with the bodily harm towards Layla and Finn, and also arson for, you know, trying to set her fucking house on fire. This means that Max is innocent and he's released from prison in the morning. She sent this long message to Mita and she decides like she really needs to give him a huge apology for, you know, accusing him of murder. And they meet up and she does apologize. And she says, you know, there is still stuff that they need to talk about and asks about the lying because she wants to clear the air. Turns out the lady he was seeing was his therapist. By the way, his therapist is identical to what she looks like. I already explained that earlier, but like it gets weirder. Don't worry. And here I was thinking too, we get to this point and I'm like, there are two more chapters left of this book. So hold on to your pants, guys. And this is when he talks about being addicted to the painkillers. And he says he does meet with his mom regularly and she's in a care home, but she has dementia. So most of the time, She doesn't even recognize him, and she gets really anxious around new people. So that's why she hasn't been able to meet his mom, which is understandable. And I can understand that because I have had family members with severe dementia and I've been mistaken for my mother. So I understand that, and I worked around them, and they can get pretty violent when they're uncomfortable and, whatever. They talk about the DNA that was found on the handkerchief in Jackie's coat, and he said the condom had broke. Surprise, fucking surprise. And he had put it into the handkerchief. She drops the bomb that she is pregnant, and he is so fucking happy about this. While everything is cleared up, he is now trying to do things with her because, he's happy. Let's fuck. And she doesn't know if it's because she's tired or she's gotten the ick. I've gotten the ick because she can't stop thinking about him having sex with Jackie. It's just not turning her on at all. And she just doesn't want to do this. Later on that
Her
night,
stigmatization has
worn
left the
off.
building. Yep.
Yeah. She calls Jasmine and tells her everything about everything and saying, "Oh, we cleared everything up, blah, blah, blah." Then we get a year later. What? This is not an epilogue, though. This is just another chapter. And Max is moving into her house. Their daughter was born 6 months ago, and they got married a month after the birth,
Which I
which
just want to point out doesn't make sense time-wise.
not at all.
No, because she wasn't 3 months pregnant 6 months ago, and it's a whole thing. So the timing, and then the baby of the other, what? Yeah, it just
Yep.
doesn't
Nope.
make
None
sense.
of it makes sense. They got
Yep.
married a month after the birth, and it was a quiet marriage. Their relationship had changed, and like the overwhelming sexual passion has just faded.
And you're telling me they've been married for 5 months and they're only now moving in together?
I mean,
And he allowed that? And he, no,
with
he
the
allowed that.
fact that they made it this long before yeah, it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He
no.
was practically moving in
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. So Max's desire for a lot of sex was incompatible with the late pregnancy. So, like, their sex life has kind of dwindled, especially, and then, of course, obviously, after having the baby and stuff like that. So, they're at home, they have the TV on, and we learn that there is an attempted rape of a young woman in a park. And it is the second one in as many months, and people are getting a little scared. And just know that this man has pictures of his mom throughout.
And, oh, sorry. Well, and originally, Finn was worried that his wife had been taken by the rapist that
Oh, yeah, yeah,
everyone was
yeah.
worried about
That was
back
going on. Yeah,
when,
it
yeah,
was
that
like
was
a
going on.
really like brief.
It was like every month or two they heard about the serial rapist.
Yeah. So,
And I was like,
yep. Also, so he's got pictures of his mom in the house. Guess what his mom looks like, guys?
creepy as fuck.
Dark hair, blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
What? Super creepy. So he brings in his piano, but he doesn't want to play it yet because he wants to get it tuned next week because he says, moving it and all this other stuff, like it's
Needs
out
to
of
settle.
it needs to settle. But she decides while he's at his house moving other stuff that she's going to try to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And as she's trying to play this for the
For her
baby,
daughter.
for her daughter, yes, there's a rattling. And when she opens it, there's a paper underneath the strings. And it ends up being the newspaper clippings and locks of black hair from every single victim who has been raped. And this means that fucking Max is the rapist. And she's now freaking out, trying to figure out what the actual fuck is she going to do. And
I didn't think it
she,
was going to take a year to discover this, but I knew it was going to happen.
well, probably because he's been hiding it and she doesn't live in
And
that
she's so
house.
dumb. Yeah.
And yes, she is dumb. So she wants to know, like, how the fuck is she going to get out of the situation and get her daughter out of the situation? So here's what she's going to do is she's going to seduce Max. And she is going to basically bring out the fucking box of toys and dress all sexy after her daughter goes to bed and handcuff him to the bed, blindfold him, and like trying to make him think that they're actually gonna have really super sexy time because again, they don't have it much anymore because of the baby and the post baby and like all this other stuff. And again, their sex life has really dwindled. That's not what happens. She does handcuff him, blindfold him, runs back into the room, grabs her baby, runs out, and she runs to Finn's house and calls the police. Then we have a few months later, and the police had found Max in the very compromising situation. They went through all of Max's things and they found all of the evidence that they needed to put him away. Max tried to get her ex husband to be his lawyer, but the ex husband refused. And while he is still a terrible person and like gloats about all the terrible mistakes she has made, he still refuses to represent Max. Finn has been a really good support to her, and they end up being really good friends. And it actually turns out that Jackie and Max did not have an affair. Max raped her, and
Oh,
and she was so ashamed. Max begged Layla to visit him in prison, and like he even sent her letters and all this other stuff, and she refuses to go. Finn starts therapy, and they did not get together, which I thought was a missed opportunity.
yeah. I thought well, I just thought that that's how that it was
I
going to
thought that
end.
that was how it was
Whether,
gonna go
yeah,
because it kind of like felt that way because these two people had so much shit happen to them,
and
and
they
then
just
to
kept meeting and they're for like park dates and stuff with their kids, and I
yeah,
thought that
that
like we
was
were going to get like a 5 years down the road that they,
we're together. But we
yeah,
don't get that
but
ending. We don't get that happy ending. The only happy ending is that Max is in jail.
yes, and the other bitch is in jail.
I think wasn't her trial still going on?
Yes, but I'm
So
assuming they
I'm
said that it
assuming
was
she's
gonna,
in jail.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of evidence against her. So
yeah.
yeah, that was,
The end of our thriller month.
I know, man, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. Who was your favorite character?
Oh, to choose. I really want to know. I felt frustrated that we didn't get scenes with Phyllis after she spotted
Yeah.
them together because I want to know because she kept giving her dirty looks and stuff. I want to know what she was thinking.
Yeah, same.
I want to know. I need more information. Jasmine, probably the best friend, was probably my favorite.
I like Jasmine, and I honestly liked her boss at the new lawyer.
Yes and no. I felt like he was just too blasé
He's
and let
70
it,
something years
yeah,
old. He's
like
old, man.
whatever.
I just no, because like he was so understanding of her like
Yeah.
stuff and yeah, he was upset about losing stuff, but he had a very good outlook on things and didn't push her. But yeah, Jasmine was also awesome. Who is your least?
Everyone else?
Dude.
I didn't, honestly, Layla was shit because come the fuck on. No, the dog was probably my favorite character,
Okay, yes.
Ludwig.
Honestly,
And,
yes.
but come on, how could she create this
How
entire
many red
situation?
flags can you
Right.
see?
And not in the fun, I don't see red flags type of way. No, this bitch,
Was
come on.
dangerous.
Yes. And you endangered other people
Yeah.
because you were stupid.
But that's why I said at the beginning too, there's not a single, besides the dog, there's not a single perfect character in this book because they're all like shitty. I mean, that's just the point of
Yeah.
them. Like, it's not
Right.
that, yeah. So
Max irritated me so bad. I hated reading him on page. Like from the very beginning, I fucking hated
he
him. So
gave
I guess
Psycho Stalker
he just gave
Golden
me the
Retriever.
ick.
Yeah,
Gave me the
he
ick.
literally the ick. Well, like she felt the ick towards the end. There was,
Yeah.
but she ignored so many red flags,
Yeah.
so many of them. Ugh,
Maybe she's colorblind.
I guess. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Mm.
Cool. So Amazon gives us a 4.2, Goodreads also a 4.2,
Hmm.
and Storygraph a 3.91.
Where were you?
I'm at like a 3.5. I bordered between a 3.5 and a 4 because I did actually enjoy it. I wish that it psychologically fucked me up a little bit more because that would have been
Yeah.
more fun for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, like I did enjoy it. I actually had a pretty good time. I didn't struggle getting through the book either. But I also like a good psychological thriller in
Yeah.
general
But I like it when they
because it's
keep me
kind of a change
guessing.
up. Yeah.
And this one
Yeah.
really didn't for me,
I mean, you just
which
have a
is fine. No, but
broken,
but some of them do. So
yeah.
I like it when they do. I like it when they can successfully do that for me. And I also, I know this sounds silly, but I like it when I don't just hate all the characters.
Yeah.
I give this one a 3 because meh,
Cool.
it
Spice,
was
it's
fine,
gonna
but
be kind of low because like it was
I
there, but
rated
it
it a
wasn't just
poblano.
yeah, I was gonna
Wasn't really described.
yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't described at all, and Max just sucks.
Also that. Are you also?
Yeah, I said this. I said same. How I would survive because I would not talk to this man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would have probably never even gone to the original party. Just
Yeah.
saying.
I Yeah, I just wouldn't leave the house because no, thank you.
Yeah.
Hardest of passes. So that's that's it for the month.
Hmm.
Dang. I feel like that went
Yeah.
by so fast. Every day. I'm suffering. Just kidding.
You know, it was we've had some odd our theme months haven't quite hit like
We
we want
wanted
them
them to.
to, which hopefully that will change. But next month, we are sliding into shifter season and we are going to do shifter September for our specials. So we'll see, but we'll see if that works. So
Sounds great.
join us for shifters next month and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty.
Knocking, fucking bitch. Fucking Jesus fucking shit. Whole thing fucking just dropped through the crack and fucking fell. Oh my God, why are you doing this? Just fucking clip the magnet. It's not hard. You're welcome, you dumb bitch. Fucking thank me. Hello.
Because this is such a high this is such a high profile case. You know, yeah, you dumb bitch. And Jackie kind of thinks back to the barbecue. Not Jackie. Jackie doesn't think back to anything because Jackie's dead. I mean, Jackie's missing. We don't know she's dead yet.